Hey y'all, hey. So, welcome to Meditations with Marnie, and this is going to be a quick one. And reason being is, y'all, my girlfriend told me, she said, you got to get one of those. I got to get a stick. So, like when I'm doing ones when I'm out and about and I have a tripod at home that I can put it on at my desk. And, but when I come and I do them in other places, I don't have one. So I just have to use my camera. But my girlfriend was saying to me, she said, you got to get one because I want all your hand movement. And y'all know I'm a little sassy, so I like to use my hands. But I wanted to come on, and I didn't really know. Well, I had some other things that I thought about talking about today, and I think I'm going to come back later this evening and do another video. But I was basically wanting to talk about a video that I saw earlier today. So one of my fellow YouTubers got an email from a female, and that particular email was asking about this guy that she was dating, and it was so relevant to some of the things that I've experienced before. And the thing is, he gave her some ideas on things that she needs to do, and where this guy is at with what decisions that he's making in reference to her. And so what I will say, ladies, is if you have to question, and I don't really have a title for this one, maybe I'll come up with it later, but if you must question whether or not a man is for you, if he is interested, if he is showing any level of interest in you, if you have to question that, he's not. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying it in a way that I had to learn that myself. And that's not an easy pill to swallow when you have put and invested in someone. And so this video, like, I felt such pain for the young lady when I listened to what he was talking about in reference to her. And I felt pain because basically she has spent a year and a half of her life with this guy in a situation where he is not interested. He's not invested in this relationship at all. She's invested in it, but she's investing by herself. And then when it comes to some of the things that were mentioned, I just thought to myself, it just sounded so familiar. And I'm going to tell you guys, y'all know I usually give you a quick story. And the reason being that I felt her pain is because obviously, y'all heard me talk about talk less, listen more. If you go back and look at my videos on that, talk less, listen more. Like, listen to what this guy is saying. He's not saying anything. So he's saying, one of the things that the guy said in the email is that she said about the guy in the email is that he talked about he liked travel. He does. He likes travel. He just didn't say he wanted to travel with you. That's the part that we have to understand. Ladies, sometimes, as I mentioned in my previous video, talk less, listen more. Sometimes we read things into things that are not there. What that means is that if he didn't say that I want to take you on a trip and travel with you, he did not mean that he wanted to travel with you. And based on the circumstance of what the clip in which I heard, and I think what I'll do is I will post his link inside of my description or something. Somehow I'll add it. Either I'll post it in the description or I will pin it to my comments. But what that means is that just kind of based on what the storyline was, I'm gonna be honest, I felt like, okay, he's traveling with somebody. He's either traveling with his wife, with his girlfriend, his real relationship, or he's traveling with some other people and he's just enjoying. On my other video, ladies, I talked about closing the cookie jar. Like, shut it down. This is not a threat. This is not something that's saying that you're punishing anybody. This is talking about you understanding your self-worth. You understanding what value that you bring to the table. And again, if you don't know your value, then he's definitely not going to know it. And sometimes as women, based on the reading of this particular video, I feel like this may be a younger woman. So for me, it reminds me of a young lady that I might be mentoring, or someone that I might be sharing some wisdom with. And again, my videos are never to condemn anybody or say anything negative, but it's that somebody can grow from the errors that I've already made, that somebody else don't have to go down that road if that's not something that they have to suffer through or deal with. And I'll just be honest with you, I've dated people that I was just all into them, because when I go in, I usually go all the way in, and now I've learned how to reserve that, and I give what I want to give based on the relationship of what they're giving, and if we really look at these from a, my channel is Christian based, and it is for us to look at getting to marriage. So one of the things that I would ask this young lady is, what are your goals? Like, do you just want to be a girlfriend, or do you really want to be a wife? Because if you want to be a wife, you have to then establish yourself as someone that's different, that's separate from just being a girlfriend. And I'm telling you, with most men, 90% of them, I want to say 99% of them, they are not running to get to the altar. I don't care how much they love you, how much they care about you, how much they want you in their life, how good you are to them. They are not interested in saying that I'm getting ready to lock down with one for the rest of my life. So anytime that you find somebody that does do that, typically he is one that is interested in it. Now, that's relatively speaking. I'm talking to y'all, this is a short clip, so we don't get to dove all the way over into the ones that do it, and they will do it just like, the situation that I had. Mine is he was the marrying kind. He would marry, but that didn't mean that he was going to be faithful, and that didn't mean that he really liked what went along with married life. There are people who are, in my opinion, I feel that and this is my perspective, so don't come for me because you think something different. You can put your comments out there, but I feel that as a wife, you have to want to serve. That's a trait that you have to want to do, because in the household, you're going to be serving the husband, you're going to be serving the kids, you're going to be serving those that are around you. You have to have a servant's heart in order to even want to be a wife. Now, if all this stuff they showing on social media nowadays, where he just buying you this and he buying you that, and y'all going on trips and you getting on the yacht, and we going to this island and that island, and it don't believe the hype. That is not the average person's lifestyle. And unless they charging it up on credit cards, a lot of them are not living the $1 million life. Just know they are portraying that to you guys. And so that's another reason why with my channel, you guys get me raw and authentic. My girlfriend talking about my arm. The arm is going to be there. You know why? Because I set a standard for myself. Initially, I was getting ready to buy me like one of the mics and the podcast microphones and things like that. And what I did is I set a standard for myself, and I said, Marini, when you reach 100 subscribers, then you can gift yourself with that. So right now I'm still, I think today when I looked, it's like 28. So if I'm at 28, I haven't reached my goal yet. And I have not, I really haven't promoted my channel or put it out there. I haven't really texted to all my family and friends, any of that. I've just uploaded the video. So those 28 subscribers are people who have actually authentically gone out and looked for my content and actually subscribed. So I'm happy with that, because I didn't do anything to alter or initiate that. Excuse me. And I want to say, we have to look at our relationships the same way, ladies. Don't do anything that alters or initiates his contact with you. And when I say his contact, yes, you have to put yourself out there. Yes, you have to make yourself available. Yes, you have to let him know that there is an interest that's there. But if he is interested, you're not going to have to chase him down. You're not going to have to ask him what his thoughts are. He's going to let you know that. And for women, you have to think about, men are natural hunters. They were born. You go and watch the Animal Channel. Watch the lion. Watch the ape when he's up in the tree. Watch the eagle. Any of them. Watch the moose. Watch the giraffe. Watch how the animal kingdom is set up, and then you will understand understand more about men. And I get that from my brother. Now, I want to bring him on one day because he's a funny character, and he's not really a video kind of dude, but if we talking about stuff like this, he'll definitely have something to say. So, but I want to just say, to ladies, if you are having to question whether or not he is there for you, he's not. And earlier I alluded to, I was getting ready to kind of give a small story, but I don't have a lot of time. I just had a short break, and I thought I would come and do a quick clip. But I was dating this one guy, and I just, he was telling me about how he wanted to get married, and men will say whatever they think you want to hear if they know that that's what you want. I state that up front so that all the game, they can go ahead and take that right on with them. Wherever they're going with it, they can carry it right on. I cut and break that right down for them. And so that way, I don't even have to waste my time dealing with somebody that I know is not going to be moving in the direction that I'm trying to move in. I'm not going to frustrate myself anymore, because as the video said, the guy that was answering the video, he said, you're not going to do anything but frustrate yourself. The other person is gone on. The one thing I looked at in my marriage is I stayed upset all the time. The one thing about my ex is he didn't let nothing bother him. And when I say nothing, that dude is going to live a long time, because he is not going to be the one to ever have a heart attack or a stroke unless it just actually hits him just because that's a body issue or something like that. He kept his mental capacity, and things could be blowing up around us, and he would just be like, hey, it's going to be all right. We good. I would be like, no, we not good. And so I'm saying that to say that you don't want to frustrate yourself in the process of trying to make somebody love you. And then that's the other thing. Like, how long do you want to keep that up? Because if this has been going on for this young lady for 1.5 years, that means that already she has given up 1.5 years of her life, her time, her efforts, and she's still not getting that reciprocated. And she's still asking the question. And I can tell you that that's probably because he's dropping just enough nuggets to keep her interested. He's dropping just enough information, just enough interest. And most of the time, the interest is not going to be taking her out or anything like that. He might do that every now and then, but most of the interest is going to be him getting to the cookie. That's the truth. And once he does, and ladies, I think I want to do a video on, just how I believe God intended. Like, I believe that works just the way that God intended for it to work. I think that when we are emotional and we are all bent out of shape, God intended for that to bring us back. I think that we have just used it to an abusive measure, but it was intended for us to be drawn to our mate. It was intended for us to be brought into a place of calm. That was intended. But I can guarantee you that that young lady is still connected. And what the advice that he gave her was that basically, I'm sorry, she would need to cut ties. You do. When you are separating yourself from someone that you have been in a relationship with, especially someone you got soul ties with, and the cookie has just been right there, and don't let it have been a good one. Like if your favorite is, double dip chocolate chip, it's just real good. Yeah, that you have to cut yourself away from it. And the reason being is that you have to think about it like you're going to go through withdrawals. And in those withdrawals, it's just like an addiction. You have to think about the sweats and the shakes and all of that goes along with it. And I'm not saying literally you're going to have that to happen, but I am saying that is going to be a portion of the process to come out of that place. And you're going to have some people in your corner that can help to talk you through that process. When your tears come, he can't be the one that comforts you in that process, because he's already the one that you already know does not want you. And one of mine, like by the time I got him blocked, do you know that thing started calling me from a private number? I said, what is this? He said, why do you have me blocked? I said, I got you blocked because I don't want to talk to you. I only answer the phone because I have children, and I never know when somebody is calling me about my kids, or it might be a family emergency for real. So I'm going to come back this evening, though. I think I want to do a part 2 to this and follow up on, ladies, just what you need to do. Get you a support system, young lady. Get some people in place. Block that phone number and find your way. Get you a box of tissues. Go on and cry that out. Get your shower ready so that you can just get it all out your system. But when you do, you'll find out that you're better off for it. And once you have a clear mindset, you'll be like, I didn't even like him anyway. It wasn't the cookie, it wasn't even the kind of cookie that I like. I like double dip chocolate chip. And that was some raisin, what is it? Oatmeal raisin. Remember, guys, I try to bring some fun and comedy to my videos so that everything is not so heavy, because that's a heavy thing to carry. Like, listening to the video, I was sad. And I was sad for multiple reasons. Like, some people would have been like, oh, girl, I want to eat this. We all been there. It doesn't matter. Unless you've been married for 30, 40 years from the time you were like a teenager. And a lot of times, those still aren't good marriages. You just in it. But unless you've been married that long, you've been out here and you've done some stupid stuff for some dude. All of us have. And, I live to tell about it, and I try to make sure that my younger generation know that they don't have to make that same mistake that I made. So, with that being said, I'm not gonna get no cookies, but I might get a brownie. Anyway, I want you guys to click like, share it with a friend, and subscribe to my channel. Have a good day, y'all. Bye.